The Badlands are an amazing spot. For years, they've been known as one of the top spots for hunting trophy mule deer bucks. I think part of the reason that is you can see so far. If you can get some vantage point, if you can gain some elevation, a guy can see for miles, and with good optics, find a lot of deer, and potentially a buck year after. The landscape of eastern Montana is vast and wide open. At a glance, you wouldn't figure there's much there. But when you take the time to sit there and really dig in and really pick it apart, you begin to realize how much wildlife this area really holds. There's elk and mule deer, wild game birds like crazy, and a vast amount of predators, from coyotes to bobcats and even mountain lions. It's a beautiful terrain, and something that really grows on you when you have a chance to spend some time in it. This year I got the opportunity to go hunt with Rodeo Hall of Famer Lloyd Ketchum. For those of you that know anything about rodeo, you've heard of Lloyd. He's stepped inside the ring with every rodeo legend that's ever lived and fought the bulls that made those men legends. So I was humbled to get the opportunity to hunt alongside Lloyd on his place outside of Miles City. I really was looking for that next class of deer. I had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hunt a place like Lloyd's, and I wanted to make the most of it and just enjoy it the most I could. Well, it's our first morning out here hunting with Lloyd Ketchum on his place, and we're teamed up with Kristy. She went with Craig, the other guide here, and we just got word that couldn't have been half hour into their hunt, Kristy knocked down this beautiful, looks like 5x5 deer. It's got kind of some gnarly stuff around the bases, and just a good looking mule deer. I think that's the first deer she's taken in 3 or 4 years, so pretty cool. We're gonna come together here and eat some sandwiches on the hill and get a chance to look at this buck pretty soon, but really happy for Kristy. We were hoping she'd get one, so yeah, one down. Beautiful morning out here, November 19th.
It's a very nice, crisp morning.
Yeah, can't ask for much more perfect time of year. With good company, so we're loving life here.
Yeah, no, I was pretty happy. About that whole deal, how it worked out. We spotted him, we were clear over. We saw the does and he went skyline, and we drove clear around over here.
Right up
sure enough, we're like, oh man, he walked by him.
That's cool.
Right first thing?
Yeah, first thing this morning, 170, 80 yards-ish, I'm assuming. I'm guessing, I don't really know. He's under.
So after years of being friends with Kristy, I was excited to get the opportunity to finally hunt with her. I'll never forget spotting this buck on the skyline. He just looked tremendous. Pushing does around, we decided to get a closer look, and man, he was a beautiful deer. he was a beautiful deer, you know, everything you could possibly look for, but I felt like, you know, he could use another year. If I was hunting public or anywhere else, I'm sure I would take this buck. But once again, hunting Lloyd's place, I just was looking for that next age class. And that's really what Lloyd preached and wanted as well.
Well, it's the end of our first evening here, and as you can see, we just had kind of a tough decision to make there right at dark. Absolutely beautiful 5x5, big mature mule deer buck. But I think I just love hunting them too much. I want it to last longer, so we're just gonna let them slip off into the coulee for the night. There's actually 2 other bucks back over here too. That was fun. Call it a day. It's our second morning here, November 20th. We spotted what looks like a real nice buck from across the canyon here, so we're just gonna try to move. It's not really that far from the truck, actually. We're just gonna try to slip around this corner and get a better look at him, so we'll see what happens. Well, it's one of my favorite days of the year, which is late November. It's cold, snowy out. The deer are rutting like crazy. We've seen a ton of bucks today from daylight till now. Just pushing, you know. You can sit in one spot and look, and there's deer just running all through this country if you're patient enough to sit here. But what I love about today is it's a Montana tradition. It's the Bobcats versus the Grizzlies. And we got it on the radio here. Drinking a warm cup of coffee. It's just kind of something that reminds me of being a little boy. It's something that I've always been out here around this time. My birthday, Bobcat Grizzly. It's just all a big part of a Montana tradition between the football game and mule deer hunting this time of year. So just one of those days every year I really look forward to. So anyway, we're going to keep looking here. Deer are really on their feet. I mean, it's 28 degrees right now, but it was only like 6 at daylight, so it's chilling down. In fact, there is a little buck down here with the doe right now, so anyway, Awesome day to be alive.
Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. Guys, we've been kind of working along this top right here and looking down in this terrain. It's super windy today, and all the deer we're seeing are like right in the bottom of these cuts. And when I mean cuts, they go from flat ground to 20 feet down to the bottom of these things. They're super deep. All the deer we're seeing are in the bottom, so Lance and I have this ridge picked out. We're going to work right down the center of it. We got two big cuts off of both sides. We've seen a couple deer go into them. So we think there must be a big mature buck down in here somewhere with some does. We're just going to try to kick up and see what happens.
There's certain areas I know to go dig them out of. If I can't find them, just easing around.
Sure. And that's
Getting
one of them.
And that's one of them.
Well, guys, as you just saw, we just came over the top of the hill on a really nice buck here. Didn't really have enough time to size him up fully, and next thing I knew, he turned and took his does, and we saw him go all the way up over this far point. Lloyd knows the terrain good enough. We figures we can get right in on him, so we'll see what happens here. It was a dark horn, heavy horn deer.
He was a real nice dark horn heavy deer, and you know, I have a good deal. I think we can walk right in on him and get us a better look and see what he is.
All right, well, we're gonna head back to the truck and probably make a loop around and see if we can find him.
Sounds good.
Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. Well, guys, we're just coming down this draw right here. Lloyd's got this big loop he wants us to walk around on this ridge, and we barely started our walk, and we caught the glimpse of a buck that we just could tell that he was a dark rack chocolate buck headed right up into this coulee. So we're going to get right up here to these rocks, see if we can get a view of him here. So let's get going. When I hunt, whether it's for deer or elk or bear, I look for that animal that instantly gets me going, instantly fires me up and makes me go into panic mode. I don't care how many years I've been doing this. When I see that next class of animal, I lose it. And that's what I'm looking for. That's what I came here for. And with this opportunity to hunt with Lloyd, that's what I was waiting for. When I saw this buck, I knew he was the one. I could tell instantly he had extras. He had long beams and mass. Those dark chocolate horns in this wide open country typically means a mature, heavy horned deer. You're hunting good, Lance?
Yeah, go ahead.
Overshot him?
He did.
When I got up to this buck, I could just tell. I could tell that this was the buck I had been after. Extremely old, barely a tooth in his head. When I sat behind him, I could see his backbone protrude from his body. But what an incredible animal. And admire him like crazy for being able to survive out here through the harsh winters, the predators, and the endless amounts of hunters who have pursued him before me. You know, to come out here and hunt the same place that I started hunting when I was 12, you know, not 60 miles from here, and to continually be able to take quality deer that many years later just says something for the work that these conservation groups are doing and the landowners working together to give us the opportunity to kill bucks like this. You know, Montana's really special in the fact that we are the only state that can hunt mule deer during the rut, and we take advantage of it. I look forward to this hunt as much as bow hunting elk every year. Those are my two favorites, so I just can't say enough about setting your sights on finding a deer that really just gets you excited, and that's exactly what this buck did. It didn't take looking at him twice, and I knew this was the guy I wanted to take. And you know, on my birthday, nonetheless, means an awful lot to me. This is the best birthday present anyone could ever give me. So thanks for being here, Lance. Appreciate it, buddy. That means a lot too. So can't thank Lloyd and everyone enough for giving me this opportunity. So pretty awesome. When I look back on this hunt and I think about the things that stick out to me, I think about Lloyd and the stories he told. It was so fascinating to hear from one of the greats. I mean, here's a man who has been inside the ring with a bull that's made people legends, and he fought him face to face. I admire that. I admire Lloyd, and I can't thank him enough for giving me this opportunity to come out here. I'll never forget it. I'm so happy that Kristy was there to enjoy it as well and got the buck that she was after. It was such an awesome hunt, and what an opportunity. I can't thank the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and Lloyd Ketchum enough for this. It truly means more than I could ever express. Thank you.